it's looking very serious in there. There's a camera mounted up there. My heart is going. Yeah, I was praying. Glory, Mudimu Baskan Fina, Mudimu Baskan Tara. Hi, Dumelang, Dumelang, Dumelang. Yo, guys, it's been a while. Since I said those words. I'm sure it's been like what? Maybe 2 months? Or just over 2 months? Thank you so much to all of my subscribers for, checking up on me, sending me messages, say, Anna, okay, what's going on? Are you coming back to YouTube? But yeah, thank you so much for coming back to yet another video, for clicking the like button on this video. And then to my new subscribers, to those of you that are here for the first time, or those of you that already know me, hi, hello, my name is Anna, and I really hope that you enjoy this video. Do check out the other videos on the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button down below. All right, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Let's get right into it. We are doing a life update video. It is 2024. This is my first video for the year, actually. Yeah, it's the first video of the year, and we're going to kick it off with a life update. As you can see, the setup of the room is different. So I am back in South Africa. So I left China. For those that have been wondering, Anna, where are you? I am back in South Africa, and currently I am in Polokwane. Now let me rewind a little bit for those of you asking, when did your contract in China end? Why did you leave China? Let's get into that. So my contract that I had in China ended on the 29th of February of this year. Just let the car, So my contract ended on the 29th of February of this year. My school had asked me last year sometime in November to say, okay, Anna, are you staying? Are you renewing your contract, or are you not renewing your contract with us? At the time then in November, I had that strong conviction that I needed to leave the school. One, you guys saw a bit of what I get up to with that school. With all the content creation part of it, I just felt like it was a little bit too much. And it sort of shifted to where that was one of the main focuses of my day-to-day job was, creating content for the school, the editing and all of that. So I was just like, I don't necessarily want my day-to-day to look the way that it was. Don't get me wrong. Not every workplace is perfect. You're not going to like everything that are involved in your day-to-day duties. But this was taking up so much of my time, as well as my time outside of school, that I was like, I do want to move to another school. And on top of that, so it was my day-to-day duties that I wasn't necessarily fond of, but I did it, So it was the content creation, the level of content creation that my school needed me to do and to produce for them. It wasn't something that I wanted to continue with them on, My next reason for not wanting to renew with my school was that it was a kindergarten, and I would prefer to be teaching at a primary school. So that was also the other reason why I didn't necessarily want to stay with my school. Then the third reason, which is also another important reason, as you guys know, I was studying my PGCE. When I had started my year in China, I was also starting my PGCE studies. And within my PGCE studies, one of the requirements is that I needed to do my practicals back home. So, okay, I told my school I'm not going to renew with them. They said, okay, they were not so happy about it, but they were like, okay. Then about a week or two later, they come back to me and they were like, okay, the school's really happy with your performance and the way that you work here with us. We would like you to stay. Is there anything that we can do, for you to stay. So I guess this came down to negotiation to tell me, what do I want? And will they cough up what I want in order for me to stay? So you know what? I said to them, one of the most important reasons was that I needed to go home to do my practicals. So I had asked them, would you guys then give me 5 weeks where I can go home, do my practicals and return? So at the end of my contract, February, I would then go home for 5 weeks, do my practicals and return. Would you guys give me this time for this specific reason? My supervisor then went back and said, you know what, I'll speak to the principal, I'll come back to you. She spoke to the principal, and once she had spoken with the principal, she then came back to me and she was like, no, the principal said that 5 weeks is a long time, so they'll have to then start looking for my replacement. In my mind, I was like, screw you guys. Because when I started at this kindergarten, you guys, it was myself, there was a Canadian teacher and an American teacher. The American was part-time. The Canadian, he decided to do a midnight run, so he left. He ducked and dived. He didn't give them notice. He just left. So it was myself and the American teacher that were working at that school. The American was part-time. So he was there from 8 a.m. to 11, and then he went home. Or was it 11:30? He would go home. For the rest of the day, it was just me. So I then had to cover all of these other classes. They made it in a way that I was able to teach all the classes. So they have the babies who are in, we call them IC class. So those are like your 2-year-olds. Then they had little, who are like the 3-year-olds. They had middle class, the 4-year-olds. Then they had senior class, which is the 5-year-olds. So he would teach the 2-year-olds in the mornings, which left those other 3 classes. And there were 5 of each classes. So little had 4 classes, middle had 5, senior had 5. So I then needed to teach all of these classes on my own while they were still trying to find another ESL teacher. So when she came back to me and they said the principal said it's too long, and I was just like, got it, now it's too long. But when it was just me teaching and had to manage, being the only full-time ESL teacher at the time, y'all weren't telling me it's a long time then. I had to do what I had to do. But then again, guys, I can't be mad at them because it is a business at the end of the day. They are going to look after their own interests and do what's best for their company. And I need to do the same. So that's just a piece of advice to you guys that, listen, you may be thinking that you are working very hard and you're doing your best for that school. Whatever they ask you to do, you do. And you think that that's going to score you brownie points. No, it doesn't work like that in China. In fact, the harder you work and the more you do, they just add on more and more and more work, which is what happened with my school. So the content creation, in the beginning, it was just, every now and then it started piling on and on. Now it's beginning to be a weekly thing, and then it's not just teaching videos, it's now also marketing videos. So yeah, in China, the harder you work, the more work you get, and it doesn't come with promotion. Remember, this is just my experience. I'm not saying this is how it is with everybody. So yeah, school says, sorry, 5 weeks is too long for us. So I wasn't too mad about it, although I was like, screw you guys, because I was just like, 5 weeks is too long. But when I was working there, I was the only full-time teacher. I managed. You guys could have easily managed the 5 weeks without me, was my thinking when they told me no. But anyways, I still was like, Anna, you had the conviction to leave. God's got another plan. Let's go with it. So sharp, fine. While I told them that I wasn't renewing. So from November until February of this year, I was job hunting. So I was looking for a new job, and I was making sure that this new job that I'm looking for, it's one that would start 5 weeks later. So it would be a job that would start later on, let's say May, April. So I knew that at least if I've signed a new contract, I can go do my practicals, start the new job. I don't need to be job hunting. But as I was job hunting, it wasn't going very well. I wasn't getting many offers. Recruiters was like, oh, maybe look for sooner. So I was like, okay. So that means I must put my PGCE plans on the back burner. Let me then just start a new contract immediately after this contract, and then I can go during vacation back home. Okay, so here I am. I'm now changing my plans for this new contract start date. So then I'm like, okay, fine. I'm looking for a new job to start in March. Looking. I probably had three interviews. And by the time the 29th of February came, I still did not have an offer. Yeah. So what I'd like to just express to you guys is that the job market in China has changed. I wasn't getting as many offers, as many interviews. Although it's different for each of us. Other people are saying they had many interviews and many offers. Other people are saying they were like me. They struggled to get interviews, struggled to get an offer. So the job market has changed. It's very congested. China's borders are open. So Bona, they have millions of people to choose from. Thousands, let me not say millions. They have thousands of people to choose from to work in their schools. Another thing that I picked up is while I was interviewing with the various people or sending recruiters messages, recruiters by ghoster, being ghosted. Recruiters now in China are ghosting. You would send your video, your CV, and then you just never hear back from that recruiter for a couple of months or never, is what's currently going on. The other thing that you'll find is that you'll find job ads that say that they want native English speakers from Australia, UK, Ireland, Canada, America, New Zealand, those countries. They do not want teachers from South Africa. So they'll blatantly leave South Africa on the advert. Another thing you'll pick up is they'll say, South Africans, this is your salary. And then all those other countries with the accent that they want, those teachers have a higher salary than what they're offering South African teachers. So that's the other thing that's going on. But don't let this deter you from finding a job in China and working in China. I'm just letting you know the things that I've picked up, as well as other people have messaged me to say, Anna, this recruiter is saying 1, 2, 3, that my salary expectation is too high. So yeah, salaries are not as high as what they were during COVID times. They have decreased a little bit, and even worse, if you're from South Africa, some schools will not give you the same salary offer as what they offer someone who's from America, Canada, Australia, Ireland, so on and so forth, because I don't know, their accent is special. It's tier 1 English. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the reason is that they are wanting to diversify their teachers at their school, or parents specifically want their kids to be taught by someone from America who's white, who's this, who's that. Other people are saying, no, it's because South Africans don't finish their contract. They do midnight runs. They don't stay with the school. They up and they leave. They want higher salaries. But I'm like, we want higher salaries. We asking to be paid exactly what the white person from America or Canada or New Zealand is getting paid. Or even if it's not a white person, even if it's a person of color from those countries, I want the salary that you would pay me if I was from America. Is that too much to ask? Is that being difficult? When that person from America or Canada or New Zealand or Australia, wherever, when they come with that request or that expectation, it's okay. But when it's coming from someone who looks like me or is from my country, it's their problem. It's my demands is too high. So I don't completely understand what's going on with the job market in China, but that's what's going on. I'm sure some of you that have been job hunting, you've picked this up. There's not as many job offers. I saw a news article to say there's been about 20,000 kindergartens that were closed in China. Closed or closing. So that's also another reality that could also just be the reason behind not as many, job offers are coming along, or salaries are being decreased maybe cost of living in China is expensive. So I haven't really researched the reasoning behind why the job market is what it is. It's just what I've been hearing people are saying. If you go onto the Facebook group South Africans in China, you'll find people talking about it on there as well. So yeah. All right. So yes, let's move back to February 29, 2024. So that was my last day at my school. Guys, I had booked a flight for 0000 for the 29th of February. In my mind, I thought, yeah, I'm going to go to school and then I'm going to board my flight in the evening. No, I did not think this through. But anyways, booked that flight for then. I get to the airport and they tell me, no, Miguel, no, you missed your flight. It was in the AM of the 29th, in the morning of the 29th. That's when your flight left. So you've missed your flight. Isn't that not me? Anyway, I requested a refund on trip.com. I got my refund. I then booked a new flight, but it was leaving the next day, so the 1st of March. Remember, the last day of my contract is the 29th of February, which is also the day that my visa allowing me to reside in China and work in China also expires. All right, next day, 1st of March, I go to the airport. I've got everything ready. I've got my tickets, visa, my passport, everything. I'm ready to now go home because that's the situation that I'm in. I haven't found a new job, but I'm not too stressed about that because I had the conviction that I needed to leave the school and I needed to for my 3 main reasons, and the biggest one also being my PGCE. So I knew that I'm going to go home, I'm going to do my PGCE, going to do my practicals, and then we'll see what happens after that. So anyways, I was like, I just want to get home. So I'm now going through the boarding gates. They check my visa. And the guy's just like, wait a moment. And he goes. He disappeared for probably, it was over an hour. Eventually he comes back and he calls me into, I now need to follow them into the immigration offices or whatever office it was. Anyway, I follow them there. They tell me to leave my things outside, take off my headsets. The one guy who I think is an attorney or the interpreter, that he will interpret, that I need to be respectful, and he'll do all this talking. I don't need to say anything for now. We get inside. There were 2 guys in the Chinese uniform with their flags. It's looking very serious in there. There's a camera mounted up there. My heart is going. Yeah. Anyway, I get inside. The interpreter tells me what's currently going on. That, oh no, your visa expired. And that's the reason why you are here now. Okay, they sit me down. There's some form that they filled out. It's in Chinese and he's reading it to me. They're just confirming my information. I confirm that everything is correct. Next, they then print out this thing and they're telling me that, do you know that you have violated your visa? Your visa states it expires on the 29th. That is the day that you need to leave the country. I know we give you 48 hours to leave. You need to leave on that day. Guys, get chewy. I already heard that people were talking about how you get fined 500 RMB for every day that you are in China past your expiry date. So I'm like, I don't want to be paying 500 RMB. Already I skipped my flight. Yes, I got a refund, but it was a partial one, but still. I don't have money to be wasting on a fine. It's literally a few hours later that I'm still in your country. It was in the AM on the 1st of March that I'm wanting to leave your country. So anyways, long story short, they're not going to fine you because it is your first offense and you haven't had any offenses or broken any laws since your stay here. So they're just giving you a warning. So I'm like, okay, will it affect my chances of coming back into the country, of working here, of a visa being approved? And the interpreter said, no, it's just if you ever needed to transit or transfer, it may then be an issue. But other than that, you'll be fine. So I was like, okay, cool. about 2 hours later, this whole thing, I then am able to get through the gates and board. So yeah, that's what happened there. That was scary, you guys. It was scary. And this is the first time I'm actually speaking about it. I've told my mom and sister about it, but nobody else knew what happened. So I'm telling you guys now. So here is out of my own experience. I'm going to warn you now. If your visa expires on a specific date and you're in China, that is the day you need to make sure that you have left that country. Otherwise, you are going to have issues. Either a fine, depending who you get at those offices. I was fortunate enough, I was praying the minute they told me to stand outside and wait, I was praying. Glory, mudimu baskan fina, mudimu baskan twara baskan, not arrest me, don't fine me. I'm just like, Lord, you are the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, Nothing happens except through you. I serve you only. So I am now saying these prayers in my head. Even while I'm sitting in that office, and by the grace of God, they didn't even give me that fine. It was just a warning and they let me go. So please guys, if your visa expires on a specific date, that is the day you need to leave China. Yeah, now that I've updated you guys on that, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, so you left China and then what? So once I left China, my plan was I was going to go to my cousin in Dumelang to do a set of my practicals there, and then to also go to my uncle's in Benoni to do another set of my practicals there. So I have 3 sets of practicals to do. So I went to my uncle's in Benoni. Now, while I was in Benoni, I started my first set of practicals at a primary school there. So it's one of the townships in Benoni. So I was teaching at one of those schools there. And I must say, it was just another stamp to be like, Anna, you're doing what you're meant to be doing, because I enjoyed every moment there with the kids teaching. I found it so refreshing to be able to teach, children from my own country, to be able to give back to my own country. It was just, I absolutely loved it. It was also really great to be able to teach in a vernacular language, because obviously those kids, English is not their first language. It's probably their second, third, fourth. So, I would teach in English, but then I would need to translate to help them along, because it was grade 4 learners. So they just started learning English not too long ago. So I needed to translate as I go, especially for those that, were not understanding or needed clarity. But it was just really cool to be able to teach in my vernacular language, I enjoyed every minute of it. So I was like, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I thank my uncle and my aunt for allowing me to stay with them to do my first set of practicals. Reason why I decided to stay at family was that it just was more cost effective. I didn't necessarily want to be renting a place or Airbnb for the time being, because now that's paying for accommodation, and then it's transport expenses to get to and from school, food expenses. So by staying by my uncle's, the only thing I did is I purchased food when I saw that there were things were needed in the house. But getting to school, I was just walking to school, walking back, so it was very convenient. So I'm so grateful to family for that. Next is, if you saw my last vlog, I moved from Benoni to Polokwane, and that's where I am right now. So I've now moved back home, so in the rural village, so Kwahae, Ekaya, Emakayeni, whatever language you speak, but I'm back home, Kikohae, and I haven't started my second set of practicals yet, but I will be doing that. So if you guys are wanting, to see how that goes, or a vlog, or let me know. After this, I do have another set of practicals to do. I'm not too sure yet where I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so guys, that is currently, an answer to Anna, where have you been? Where are you? Did you leave China? Why did you leave China? So this video, I hope, has answered those questions that you guys have. So I'm back home. I'm currently doing my practicals. As for Anna, will you be returning to China? At this moment, I cannot answer this question for you guys because it's not anything that is necessarily set in stone. The only thing that I'm currently working on is completing my studies. So yeah, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it answers all of your questions. Let me know what type of videos you guys would like to see from me while I am here in Polokwane. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys so much. And if you haven't subscribed, I mean, how many minutes have you now been watching this video? Subscribe. Just click that subscribe button. It is free of charge. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. We probably would have hit that mark already had I been a consistent YouTuber. But I'm going to slowly get back into producing a video for you guys at least once a week. So do let me know what would you guys like to see from me. And if you have any other questions that I haven't necessarily answered in this video, let me know down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Wherever you are, I'm wishing you a great day, a good week, and a lovely weekend. From me to you. Bye.
Gonna stay